Estimate what 7 days can really do. They think real change takes years, maybe months. They believe you have to struggle endlessly before anything gets better. But that's not true. Change doesn't come from time. It comes from momentum. It comes from a decision. A moment where you stop waiting and start moving. Most people never get there because they never start. They stay in their heads, overthinking, doubting, delaying. And that's exactly why they stay the same. Starting is always hard. It's uncomfortable. You'll want to quit. You'll hear the same excuses in your mind trying to talk you out of it. But if you can just start and then stay with it, 7 days, no skipping, no backing out, you'll feel something shift. Momentum kicks in. Discipline grows. Confidence returns. You stop hoping for change and start becoming the change. 7 days of real effort can shake your system, reset your focus, and unlock a version of you that's been buried under distractions and bad habits. In this audiobook, I'm giving you a 7-day plan to break out of your rut. You'll learn how to take control of your mornings, eliminate distractions, set 3 powerful goals, move your body, train your mind, reflect with honesty, and speak to yourself like someone who matters. Chapter 1. Wake up at least 1 hour earlier. If you want to take control of your life, start by taking control of your mornings. That 1 hour you usually sleep through, that's where your power is hiding. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but this one habit can shift everything, because the first thing you do when you wake up sets the tone for your entire day. And if your day starts with noise, chaos, and reacting to everyone else, you're already behind before you've even had coffee. Most people wake up just in time to rush. They check their phones while still in bed. They scroll through other people's lives before they even check in with their own. They stumble through their routine in a fog, rushing, grabbing, reacting, already feeling behind. Then they wonder why the rest of the day feels out of control. It's not random. It's a pattern. And it starts the moment you open your eyes. Robin Sharma, author of the 5 a.m. Club, said, "Own your morning. Elevate your life." He didn't say that because it sounds poetic. He said it because it works. Your brain in the first hour of waking is in what scientists call the alpha state. That's the state where your mind is most calm, most focused, and most open to suggestion. It's like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in that hour, gratitude, discipline, clarity, it grows. But if you fill it with junk, stress, and scrolling, don't be surprised when your day feels like a mess. Now let's flip it. Imagine waking up before the noise, before the notifications, before the demands. You sit in silence while the world is still quiet. You stretch. You move. You read 1 page. You write 1 thought. You breathe. That first hour isn't about doing more. It's about starting right, about setting the pace instead of chasing it. Here's how you do it. Set your alarm 1 hour earlier than usual. Put your phone across the room so you have to get up to turn it off. Don't hit snooze. Don't negotiate. Stand up, drink water, and move. Even 5 minutes of movement, walking, stretching, jumping jacks, wakes your body up better than caffeine. Then spend 20 minutes reading something that sharpens your mind. A book, a podcast, something real, not social media, not news. Then sit down with a notebook, or your thoughts. Write 1 thing you're grateful for, 1 thing you're focused on, 1 truth you need to hear today. That's it. This is called your power hour. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. No outside noise, no reactive energy. Just you, facing your day with intention. Because when you take the first hour of your day and make it yours, something powerful happens. You stop letting the world decide who you are. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, says it clearly: you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And your morning routine is your first system. If it's sloppy, rushed, and chaotic, your whole day follows. But if it's calm, focused, and intentional, you move with strength. You don't just survive the day, you direct it. Science backs this up too. A 2022 study from the University of Toronto found that early risers reported higher levels of life satisfaction, productivity, and better overall mental health. It's not because they're better people, it's because they're in control of their time before the rest of the world invades their focus. This is the foundation of your 7-day transformation. It's not optional, it's essential. Because if you can't command your own mornings, how can you expect to command your life? So tonight, when you set your alarm, don't treat it like a suggestion. Treat it like a promise. To show up, to start strong, to take the first step toward the person you say you want to become. For the next 7 days, your first hour belongs to you. Guard it, use it, grow from it. You won't always feel like it, but do it anyway, because that's how you become unrecognizable in the best way possible. Chapter 2. Feed your mind. What you feed your mind will either build your future or quietly destroy it. Most people don't realize how mentally malnourished they are. They consume junk all day, endless social media, shallow entertainment, fear-driven news, and comparison-filled scrolling, then wonder why they feel anxious, unmotivated, confused, and stuck. It's not a mystery. Just like your body can't thrive on sugar and fast food, your mind can't thrive on noise and nonsense. If you want to rise, you have to feed your brain better fuel. Your thoughts shape your emotions. Your emotions shape your actions, and your actions shape your life. So it all begins with what you're putting into your head. You're not just passively absorbing content, you're training your mind with every word, image, and idea you allow in. And whether you realize it or not, your mind is always being trained, either by you or by someone else's agenda. If you don't choose what to feed it, the world will do it for you, and what the world wants is for you to stay distracted, doubtful, and weak, because people who can't focus are easy to sell to. People who stay confused don't take action. People who stay mentally soft don't fight for more. That ends now. For the next 7 days, you commit to feeding your mind like your life depends on it, because it does, and it starts small. You don't need to read 10 books or master neuroscience. You just need to begin replacing garbage input with growth input. Read something real every day, even 1 page. Something that stretches your thinking, something that gives you a new idea, a sharper mindset, a deeper truth. It could be a book, an article, a powerful podcast episode, a documentary that teaches instead of just entertains. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it feeds you instead of draining you. Robin Sharma said, "The mind is like a garden. You can plant flowers or you can plant weeds." Most people aren't planting anything. They're letting weeds take over. They scroll through highlight reels, drama, negativity, and superficial ideas, and then wonder why their self-esteem feels hollow. You have to become intentional about the soil you're growing in. You have to become a better filter. Not everything deserves access to your head. Not every voice deserves space in your mind. Protect it. Reading is one of the most underrated superpowers you have. When you read, you literally absorb the thoughts and lessons of someone who's already walked the path ahead of you. You're borrowing their wisdom, their failures, their perspective. Every book is a shortcut. Every chapter is a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And the more you read, the less you fear. The more you learn, the more you believe. The more you understand, the more calm and capable you feel when life gets loud. There's data to back this up. A study by the University of Sussex found that just 6 minutes of focused reading can reduce stress levels by up to 68%. That's more than listening to music, going for a walk, or even drinking a cup of tea. That's the power of mindful reading. It doesn't just teach you, it soothes you. It calms the chaos and brings you back to center. But reading is only one way to feed your mind. Reflection is another, taking time to sit with your thoughts, to write, to ask questions, to be brutally honest about where you are and what's in your head. Most people are afraid of silence because that's where truth lives. But silence is your friend. That's where clarity is born. That's where patterns get exposed. That's where healing begins. Even 5 minutes a day of journaling can completely shift your mental state. It forces you to face your life with intention instead of avoidance. If you want to go even deeper, start speaking to yourself differently. Feed your mind with language that strengthens, not shames. Your self-talk is the most constant voice you'll ever hear. Make sure it's building you, not breaking you. You'd never speak to someone you love the way you speak to yourself. That has to change. Speak like someone who's rooting for you. Feed your identity, not your insecurity. Carol Dweck's work on growth mindset shows how powerful this shift can be. People who believe their abilities can grow, who focus on effort over outcome, process over perfection, become more resilient, more persistent, and more successful over time. That mindset isn't just a feel-good idea, it's a weapon. And it begins with what you feed your brain every single day. The mind, just like the body, adapts to what you train it to expect. Feed it distraction, and it becomes restless. Feed it fear, and it becomes anxious. Feed it negativity, and it becomes hopeless. But feed it purpose. Feed it focus. Feed it wisdom, and it becomes unstoppable. For the next 7 days, you're not just doing a challenge. You're rewiring your brain. You're saying no to mental junk food and yes to mental clarity. Replace 1 hour of social media with 1 hour of books. Replace gossip with gratitude. Replace background noise with intentional learning. Replace passive scrolling with active reflection. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be deliberate. If you spend the next 7 days feeding your mind like a leader, you will start to think like one. You'll walk differently, speak differently, respond differently, because everything changes when your mind is no longer your enemy. It becomes your engine. This is how you become unrecognizable. Not by doing more, but by feeding yourself better. And it starts right now. Pick up the book. Put down the phone. Listen to the voice inside you that wants more. And for once, give it what it needs. Chapter 3. Remove all distraction. If your life feels noisy, heavy, or stuck, it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're not capable. It's because your attention is scattered into 1,000 little pieces. You've given too much of yourself to too many things that don't matter. And now you're wondering why you can't focus, why you can't finish what you start, why you keep spinning in the same cycles, never breaking through. It's not because you don't care, it's because you're distracted, and distraction is the silent killer of potential. Most people don't realize this, but distraction is not just a productivity issue, it's a life issue. It's how your time gets stolen. It's how your energy disappears. In Digital Minimalism, Cal Newport wrote, "Clutter is costly. It's not just the clutter in your closet, it's the clutter in your brain." When your mind is packed with junk, you can't think clearly. You can't hear your own intuition. You can't even sit still without feeling anxious. That's not freedom. That's dependency. And it's time to break it. You don't need a full digital detox. You need a decision, a line in the sand. For the next 7 days, you remove what dulls your edge. You stop entertaining what drains you. You stop consuming what doesn't build you, because what you feed your mind becomes your mindset, and a distracted mindset will never build a focused life. Start with awareness. What are the top 3 things pulling you off course every single day? Write them down. Be brutally honest. Maybe it's TikTok. Maybe it's late-night YouTube. Maybe it's checking your phone every 5 minutes. Maybe it's that one person who always calls to vent but never grows. Identify them. Then remove them. Here's your framework for the 7-day distraction detox. Step 1. One digital cut. Delete one app from your phone that sucks your time and gives you nothing back. Not just hide it, delete it. For 7 days, replace that space with a book, a podcast, a journal, or even just silence. Step 2. One social cut. Stop giving your energy to people who aren't building anything, including themselves. If someone drains you, mute them. Step back. You're not being rude. You're protecting your future. You don't have to make a big announcement. Just disengage and redirect your energy. Step 3. One mental cut. Interrupt your own negative loops. That voice that says you're behind, that you're not good enough, that everyone else is doing better. Shut it down. Say it out loud. Not now. Stand up. Breathe. Move. Do something that grounds you in the present moment. Author James Clear said in Atomic Habits, "You become what you repeat." So ask yourself, what are you repeating every day? Are you repeating focus, discipline, peace? Or are you repeating distraction, avoidance, and mental clutter? And let's look at the science. A Harvard study found that people spend nearly 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're doing. Almost half your life is lost in thought, not action. And the worst part, that kind of mind-wandering is strongly linked to unhappiness. The more distracted your brain, the less fulfilled you feel. Nir Eyal, author of Indistractable, goes even deeper. The opposite of distraction is not focus. It's traction. It's doing what you said you would do. And most people aren't doing what they said they would do. Not because they don't care, but because they've been hijacked by tiny constant interruptions they no longer even notice. That ends here. Your phone is not the problem. Your mindless habits are. Your brain is not broken. It's just overstimulated and under-disciplined. And the only way to get it back is to step away from the noise and choose what stays in your world on purpose. This week, you choose discipline over dopamine. You choose stillness over scrolling. You choose to focus your energy like a laser, not a flickering light. And it will be uncomfortable at first. You'll feel the itch to check, the pull to scroll, the pressure to respond. But that's not your truth. That's your programming. Push past it. For 7 days, trade distraction for direction. Don't just be busy, be intentional. Don't just be online, be alive. And every time you feel the urge to fall back into your old habits, remind yourself, if it doesn't build you, it doesn't belong in your day. Because the version of you you're chasing, the one who is focused, clear, confident, they don't live in the noise, they live in clarity, and clarity begins with what you remove. Not someday, today. Chapter 4. Set 3 top priority goals for your success. If you wake up every morning and don't know exactly what you're working toward, your energy will get scattered. You'll feel busy but directionless. You'll work all day, but at the end of it, you'll still feel like you didn't move. That's because motion isn't the same as progress. You can run in circles forever and get nowhere, Without goals, you're just reacting. And when you live your life on reaction mode, you become a slave to urgency instead of a servant to purpose. Most people never stop to ask, what exactly am I building today? They show up, do tasks, respond to messages, stay online, go through the motions, and then wonder why nothing in their life feels intentional. They wait for motivation. They think clarity will just arrive on its own. But clarity doesn't show up until you make a decision. Goals give you that decision. They draw the line between wasted time and meaningful effort. But not just any goals. Clear, specific, high-priority goals that are worth your energy. You don't need 10. You don't even need 5. You need 3. 3 goals that truly matter right now. 1 for your body, 1 for your mind, 1 for your future. Your physical goal is about ownership of your energy. It's not about getting abs or chasing some fitness trend. It's about moving your body with intention. When your body feels strong, your mind follows. Maybe it's doing a 30-minute walk each morning. Maybe it's cutting sugar. Maybe it's stretching before bed instead of falling asleep with your phone on your chest. The goal is movement, discipline, and respect for the one thing you live in every day, your body. Your mental goal is about feeding your brain something other than noise. You scroll enough. You watch enough. Now it's time to learn, to think, to stretch. Read 10 pages a day. Listen to a podcast that sharpens your thinking. Journal in the morning or before sleep. Train your mind the same way you train your muscles, daily, deliberately, without skipping. The stronger your mind, the quieter your doubt. Your life goal is the big one. This is the mission, the forward pull. It's the thing that connects you to your next level. For some, it's applying for better jobs. For others, it's working on a business idea, finishing a project, launching something they've been putting off. For you, it might be saving a specific amount, reconnecting with a habit you dropped, or finally starting that thing you keep saying you'll start. It doesn't matter what the goal is, it matters that it's specific, measurable, and active. You're not wishing, you're executing. But a goal without a system is just a dream. That's where most people fall apart. They set the goal, feel good about it for a day or two, and then forget it by the weekend. That's because they don't attach their goals to time, place, or action. Goals must live in your calendar, not just your imagination. You have to know when you're doing it, where you're doing it, and what success looks like each day. Wake up knowing your 3 non-negotiables. Block the time, guard it like it's oxygen, and then track it. There's power in seeing a streak, in marking an X on a calendar, in writing down at the end of the day, I did it again. It builds trust, not just in the goal, but in yourself. James Clear said, "Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Every time you show up for your goal, you're casting a vote for your future. Every time you skip it, delay it, or half do it, you're reinforcing the version of you that stays stuck." You don't need motivation. You need evidence. Evidence that you are becoming the kind of person who follows through. There's real data behind this. A study from Dominican University found that people who wrote down their goals, created specific action plans, and checked in with themselves regularly were 76% more likely to achieve them than those who just thought about their goals. Writing matters, tracking matters, and staying honest with yourself matters even more. Don't expect perfection. Expect resistance. Some days you'll miss. Some days you'll want to quit. Some days life will try to throw you off. But don't let a bad hour turn into a wasted day. Reset. Recommit. Move again. Progress doesn't come from doing everything right. It comes from refusing to stay down when you slip. For the next 7 days, These 3 goals are your blueprint. They are your foundation. If you stick with them, if you follow through when it's boring, inconvenient, or hard, you'll create something. Most people never feel momentum. And once momentum starts rolling, everything becomes easier. You wake up with direction. You go to bed with pride. You stop hoping for change and start creating it. This is your moment. Choose 3 goals. Simple, real, measurable. Commit to them like your future depends on it. Because it does. And the person you're trying to become, they're not waiting for motivation. They're doing the work. Starting now. Chapter 5. Speak like the person you're becoming. If someone followed you around and wrote down everything you said to yourself for 24 hours, would you call it encouragement or emotional abuse? Would it sound like someone who's building a new version of themselves, or someone who's trying to break down the old one? Most people speak to themselves in ways they would never dare speak to someone they love. They use words that weaken, not strengthen. And then they wonder why their confidence is shaky, their energy is low, and their goals feel out of reach. It's not just because of what they do, it's because of what they say. Words aren't just sounds, they're commands. Every sentence you speak to yourself is shaping who you're becoming. You are always listening to you. Your brain doesn't just hear your language, it builds habits around it. When you say, "I'm lazy," your brain lowers the bar. When you say, "I can't," your actions follow the script. When you joke that you'll never change, your mind doesn't laugh, it listens. The most powerful voice in your life isn't a coach, a parent, or a partner. It's the one in your head. And if you don't take control of that voice, it will repeat whatever the world has told you, even if it's toxic. Think about how often you speak limitation. "I'm just not consistent. I always fall off. I don't have it in me." These phrases might feel harmless, but over time they harden into identity. And identity drives behavior. The longer you talk like your old self, the longer you stay trapped in old patterns. This chapter is about breaking that loop. It's about upgrading the language you use until it matches the future you're building. Not the one you fear, the one you want. The shift starts small. Begin replacing judgment with curiosity. Instead of, "I failed again," ask, "What made today hard?" Instead of, "I'm bad at this," say, "I'm still learning how to do this better." It might feel awkward at first, but over time, your mind starts to believe it. You stop identifying with failure and start identifying with growth. That shift alone can transform your entire direction. Dr. Ethan Kross, a psychologist and author of Chatter, found in his research that people perform significantly better under pressure when they change their self-talk from first person to second person. So instead of saying, "I can do this," say, "You've got this." It creates psychological distance, allowing you to coach yourself like you would a friend. It sounds simple, but it works. That small tweak has helped athletes, public speakers, and leaders stay calm and focused in the heat of challenge. And it can help you too. It's also critical to break the habit of casual self-sabotage. You don't get to joke about failure and expect success to show up. You can't say, "I'm such a mess," and expect clarity. Words matter. They plant seeds. Speak with intention. Speak like your future self is listening, because they are. Use words that reflect effort, strength, focus, and belief. Even when you don't feel it, especially when you don't feel it. Mantras are not magic, but they are mirrors. They reflect who you're training yourself to be. Start simple. Say, "I keep my promises." Say, "I am the kind of person who shows up anyway." Say, "I am becoming more focused every day." Don't say it once. Say it every time your old patterns try to return. Every time you want to quit. Every time doubt gets loud. Your mind is listening. Feed it something worth following. Also, be mindful of the voices around you. Language is contagious. If you're surrounded by negativity, sarcasm, or people who downplay ambition, that energy seeps in. Words create your emotional climate. If you want to rise, your circle needs to speak elevation. Get around people who talk about growth. People who say, "You've got this," instead of "That's too hard." People who talk about habits, books, goals, and action, not just gossip and complaints. When you wake up, say something to set your intention. Even a whisper counts. When you go to bed, speak something to anchor your identity. This doesn't have to be loud, it just has to be real. Words are tools. Use them to build, not break. For the next 7 days, speak like the person you're becoming. No more trash talk. No more fake humility. No more passive, powerless language. Replace every "I can't" with "I'm figuring it out." Replace every "I'm failing" with "I'm learning fast." Speak progress. Speak possibility. Speak power. Because your voice is not just describing your life, it's directing it. And now this is where the book ends, but your next chapter begins. You've made it through 7 days of showing up with intention. You've taken control of your mornings. You've cut out distractions. You've set real goals. You've moved your body. You've fed your mind. You've reflected. And now you've taken back your voice. You didn't just get more disciplined. You became someone else. Someone focused. Someone clear. Someone powerful. No, this doesn't mean the work is over. This was never a finish line. This was your starting point. The momentum you've built in 7 days. That's your launch pad. Keep it going. Keep it honest. Keep it simple. You don't need motivation every day. You just need to keep promises to yourself. Because the truth is, you don't need more time. You need this moment. This one, right here. The one where you decide you're not going back. The one where you keep moving forward, even if it's slow. The one where you say, "This is who I am now." From this point on, you speak it, you act it, and you live it. And you will become unrecognizable in the best way possible. Chapter 6. Reflect every night without excuses. If you're not checking in with yourself, you're not growing. You're just moving. You're just surviving the day, collapsing into bed, waking up, and repeating the same cycle. That's how most people live. Stuck on autopilot. They never stop to ask, what did I actually do today? What did I avoid? What did I learn? What needs to change? And without those questions, you keep repeating the same behavior, hoping somehow your life will feel different. But nothing changes unless you reflect. Reflection is the habit that makes every other habit stick. Without it, you lose awareness. You lose clarity. You lose accountability. You might think you're doing fine, but if you never pause to examine your actions, your emotions, your progress, then you're just guessing. And guesswork doesn't build a life you're proud of. It builds a life that feels busy and numb. Growth without reflection is like driving without a map. You might be going fast, but you're probably going in circles. Every night, before your head hits the pillow, you need to reconnect with yourself. Not on your phone. Not through distractions. Just you and your thoughts. 10 minutes. That's it. 10 quiet minutes to face your day. The good, the bad, the ugly, the truth. This is not about guilt. It's not about judging yourself or obsessing over mistakes. It's about seeing clearly, because clarity creates power. The more clearly you see yourself, the more clearly you can change. Grab a notebook, keep it next to your bed. Make this part of your nightly ritual. just like brushing your teeth. And every night ask yourself 3 simple questions. What did I do well today? What didn't go the way I wanted? And what can I do better tomorrow? Don't overthink it. Don't write a novel. Just be real. Write a sentence. Write a word. Write a truth that makes you uncomfortable. That's where the growth lives. Dr. Benjamin Hardy, a leading psychologist and author, says, your future self is shaped by your daily decisions. And if you're not reviewing those decisions, you're not consciously creating your future. Most people are not living with awareness, they're living with distraction. They spend more time reacting to others than checking in with themselves. That's why they stay stuck in the same patterns, having the same breakdowns, facing the same limits. Nighttime reflection isn't just a habit, it's a mirror. It shows you your real self, not your filtered self, not your performance self, your raw self. The one who showed up or didn't. The one who kept a promise or broke it. The one who moved forward or stayed in place. And that honesty, it stings at first, but over time, it becomes freedom. Because when you know where you stand, you can decide where to go next. You'll notice patterns, that you keep skipping your goals on days you oversleep, that your energy crashes every time you scroll before bed, that you feel most powerful when you start the day with movement or end it with a win. You start to study yourself. You start to learn how you operate, and when you learn yourself, you can lead yourself. There's also a biological reason this works. Neuroscience shows that reflection, especially through journaling, strengthens neural pathways tied to self-awareness, emotional regulation, and long-term planning. That means you're literally rewiring your brain to make better decisions. You're teaching your mind to evaluate, not escape. To observe, not just react. And it doesn't have to be written. Some people reflect by speaking their thoughts out loud. In the shower, on a walk, in prayer, in meditation. The format doesn't matter. The honesty does. What matters is creating space in your day where your only job is to pay attention to you. No filters, no distractions, just real, raw truth. In The Daily Stoic, Ryan Holiday writes, "The unexamined life is not worth living, but the examined life is demanding." That's what makes reflection rare. It requires courage. Not the kind that faces danger, but the kind that faces yourself. The kind that stops pretending and starts owning. And that ownership, that's what makes people powerful. You can't build momentum if you're not tracking it. You can't correct course if you don't realize you're off track. You can't grow if you never pause long enough to see what's holding you back. And you definitely can't feel proud if you're never honest about your effort. This is the checkpoint, the reset, the space where you take all the chaos of the day and turn it into clarity. For the next 7 days, commit to 10 minutes of nightly reflection, set an alarm, build the routine, end your day with awareness. You'll sleep better, you'll think clearer, you'll feel more grounded in your own journey. This is how you close the gap between who you are and who you're becoming, not by chasing perfection, but by paying attention. Because the most dangerous thing you can do is live without noticing. But the most powerful thing you can do is face your life head-on. One night, one page, one honest moment at a time. Chapter 7. Upgrade your environment. If your surroundings are full of clutter, chaos, and distraction, it's only a matter of time before your mindset starts to match them. You become what you're around. You absorb the energy of your space. Your habits are shaped by the layout of your room, the notifications on your phone, the people you allow into your conversations, and the noise you accept into your life. Most people never upgrade their environment. They just try to force discipline inside a system that's working against them, and then they wonder why change never lasts. The truth is, your environment either supports your growth or suffocates it. There is no neutral space. The things around you, your bedroom, your phone, your kitchen, your workspace, are silently influencing your decisions every single day. You might have great intentions, but if your environment is designed for distraction, you will keep falling back into old patterns. It's not because you're weak. It's because you're surrounded by triggers that pull you back into the version of yourself you're trying to outgrow. Dr. B.J. Fogg, behavior scientist at Stanford and author of Tiny Habits, explains this clearly. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. In other words, your habits don't just come from motivation, they come from what's easy, obvious, and automatic in the world around you. If junk food is on your counter, you'll eat it. If your phone is on your nightstand, you'll scroll before bed. If your workspace is cluttered, your thoughts will be too. But if you change your environment even slightly, you begin to create a space where good choices become the default, not the exception. So how do you upgrade your environment quickly and effectively? You start with what you see. Look around the space where you spend the most time, your bedroom, your desk, your home. Ask yourself, does this space reflect the version of me I'm trying to become? Or does it reflect who I used to be? If it's messy, outdated, chaotic, or draining, it's time to change it. Clean your room. Yes, really. Fold the clothes. Throw out the trash. Wipe down the table. Organize your books. When your space is clean, your mind feels lighter. You think clearer. You breathe deeper. This isn't just about hygiene. It's about identity. Then, look at your digital space. Your phone is one of the most powerful parts of your environment, and most people treat it like a junk drawer. It's filled with notifications, noise, ads, distractions, and time-wasting apps. You carry it in your pocket and check it every few minutes, and you wonder why you can't focus. Clean it. Delete apps that don't serve your goals. Turn off non-essential notifications. Move social media off your home screen. Add a wallpaper that reminds you of who you're becoming. Organize it like your future depends on it, because your focus does. After that, look at the people in your environment. This is the hardest part, but it's also the most important. The voices around you will either build you or break you. If you're surrounded by complainers, victims, gossipers, or people who mock growth, you will eventually lower your standards just to fit in. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your circle. Jim Rohn said it decades ago. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's still true. Audit your circle. Who challenges you? Who supports you? Who drains you? Who inspires you? Make space for people who talk about ideas, not just people. People who hold you accountable, not just comfortable. Environment isn't only about location. It's about energy. It's about atmosphere. It's about creating a space that feels like progress. Even small changes make a big difference. Light a candle before you write. Play instrumental music instead of TV. Add a plant to your desk. Set your workout clothes out the night before. These seem tiny, but they remove friction, and every bit of friction you remove gives your habits more space to grow. There's a concept in psychology called priming, which means your surroundings subtly influence your behavior. For example, studies have shown that students perform better on math tests when there's a chalkboard in the room. Not because they're smarter, but because the space triggers a sharper mindset. Your space speaks to your brain, so give it something useful to say. You also need to protect your boundaries. Your time, your calendar, your energy, they are all part of your environment. If you say yes to everything and everyone, your days will be shaped by other people's priorities, not your own. Protect blocks of time where you do deep work. Don't take calls during your creative hours. Stop letting your schedule be dictated by urgency instead of value. Set rules for your day and follow them. For the next 7 days, make upgrading your environment a serious priority. It's not a side project. It's the foundation of your success. Clear the clutter. Set up reminders. Put your goals in front of your face. Change the background noise. Create a space that reminds you constantly, "I'm becoming someone better," and your actions will follow your surroundings. You don't need perfect discipline if you build a strong environment. That's the secret most people miss. When the space around you supports your progress, everything gets easier. Focus becomes natural. Habits become automatic, and excuses get quieter. This is how you build a life that doesn't just look good on the outside, but one that feels strong on the inside, one that works with you instead of against you, one that reflects the standards of the person you're stepping into. Because at the end of the day, you don't rise to the level of your hopes, you rise to the level of your environment. And if your environment is strong, focused, clean, and built for growth, then so are you.